on, Amy. Why you gotta hate on him like that?
Over the last few years, Netflix has been on a roll, carefully cultivating and putting together a wonderful collection of animated video game-based TV shows, and Sonic Prime is the latest to join that list. Anyways, if you saw the first season of Sonic Prime, then you can agree with us that the bar was set very high.
Wait!
Both longtime enthusiasts of the Sega video game characters and the new generation viewers found the Netflix adaptation entertaining. So sit tight and stick with us till the end because we have got some exciting news regarding a second season of Sonic Prime. Without any further delay, let's get right into it.
The Blue Streak has a friend?
Didn't look friendly, but whoever he is, he's involved now.
Release date.
It's a trap, Sonic! It's a trap!
I don't see a trap. Though I guess by definition I wouldn't see a trap if there was one.
The Sonic Prime series has always been set to have a total of 24 episodes. Then the first season came out and we got only 8 episodes. So with 16 episodes left, it was kind of a guarantee that fans would get nothing less than 2 seasons of the show. But for a couple of weeks after the first season dropped, there were speculations that the show was actually going to get canceled, and that the first 8 episodes released would be the only ones we would get to see. To make things worse, Netflix had been canceling a lot of animated TV shows at the time. So when the official Twitter account of Sonic the Hedgehog confirmed the second season to be released later this year, everyone was ecstatic. Like the tweet says, "We sure hope you are ready to sink into some more Sonic Prime, because what was that tease photo? We mean, just take a look at Shadow holding Sonic underwater. Shadow is holding up the shoe and glove-changing Decline 9 gave to Sonic."
Of course it worked! I just said that! Let's go. Papa wants his prism.
Could we possibly do getting more from this duo in the second season? In the first season, Dr. Eggman attempts to use the Paradox Prism as a power source in Green Hills, but it turns out that it was all an elaborate attempt to trick Sonic. So when Sonic shatters the prism, this powerful artifact that can manipulate time and space sends him to different worlds across the Shatterverse. Unfortunately for Sonic, every single reality is very unpredictable and, quite frankly, dangerous, but it was not anything that our blue blur couldn't handle. It was a well-thought-out plot with an even better delivery, but like most fans would agree, the writers would need to turn things up a notch for the second season. While the producers might already have a direction for the second season locked and ready to go, you have to admit that it is still fun to predict and rant about your thoughts for a possible plot. Now, let us take a look at all the plot theories that majority of the Blue Blur fans have been pushing for.
It wasn't a trap! It was a trick! You've never created a blast that destructive.
Shadow as a possible ally.
You need to stop, Sonic, and listen for once.
If you have not been following the social media threads of Sonic Prime, then you should know that a lot of fans have been pushing for the show to add more layers to the villainous character, Shadow. We know that Shadow was created by Gerald Robotnik, who is Dr. Eggman's grandfather. Since then, he has always been a rival to Sonic. This rivalry comes to play in the Netflix show as the two were already fighting before Sonic created the Shatterverse. However, the first season ended on a cliffhanger with Sonic and Shadow reunited in the Shatterverse. Hopefully they can communicate and reach some kind of common ground. After all, Shadow wants nothing more than to turn home.
First, the Blue Hedgehog shows up, and now New York City loses its power.
Maybe you're right.
It is the perfect incentive to get these two characters to finally work together. We definitely have not forgotten how producer Logan McPherson went on about how important it is for them to maintain the rivalry between Sonic and Shadow. According to him, it was a big challenge to include Shadow in the show in the first place. Even after they had created the Shatterverse, the character still seemed wrong. Shadow has always been an edgy character, so we can definitely imagine how hard it was to fit him in the plot and still have some fun with it. So accepting the limitation and including Shadow as an arch nemesis was the only thing that worked. Still, it would be really cool to see the two of them band together to restore the natural order of things, gathering all the prism shards while avoiding Dr. Eggman and the Chaos Council so they don't get their hands on them. Thankfully, it's always a case of never say never with these guys. The writers and producers can find some way to work around these limitations and give the people what they want.
So, we done stealthing?
100%.
Saving New York City.
Stealth it is. What? I stealth.
Stealth is not your thing, but it's adorable you're willing to try.
In the first season, we saw a number of shatter spaces. The first was New York City, which is kind of like a dystopian version of Green Hill. Then there was Boskaz Maze and the No Place. While every shatter space was crucial to the plot for the first season, there are a few things that make New York City stand out. First is the interesting backstory of New York City. In this reality, Knuckles and Rogue are already leading a resistance to overthrow the Chaos Council and restore the city. The Chaos Council, on the other hand, has its own plans to harness the powers of the Prism. Also, in this world, Amy is an evil cyborg cyborg known as Rusty Rose, and Dr. Eggman uses her as a lethal weapon against Sonic. Then there is that whole twist where Sonic and Shadow can summon alternate versions of some characters from both the familiar and unknown worlds, like the time Victor and the Silver Hedgehog were assembled and then transported to New York. So it really is not surprising that there is a major speculation that the final battle of the show would take place in New York City. This would mean that Sonic and his friends would band together to save it. What would be a little bit more difficult to predict is which one of his friends would join Sonic on the heroic adventure.
I always thought your extra tail was cool, but the metal ones? Man, you're amazing.
Sure. One last touch.
Tails 9 as a villain.
Attach these. They might be able to regulate the excess energy coming off your gear so they don't explode.
Might?
9 is the New York City version of Tails. 9 is a little bit different given that he had to grow up all on his own because of the hatred in the city. When he first meets Sonic in this world, it takes a while to warm up to him. He goes on to help Sonic by raiding the Chaos Council. He manages to steal a prism shard and uses it to power a plane that can take him through the Shatterverse. We could not help but notice that after 9 is kidnapped by the Chaos Council and forced to tell them about his plan, he seems a bit off. He may not wanted to give out this information, but he eventually began to act like he had given up on his friendship with Sonic. From his perspective, Sonic had seemingly abandoned him at a time he needed him most. And judging him from his background, 9 is just the type of character that can easily slip into villainy. We think this is a possibility because it would set him apart from the original Tails character. Is this the best idea? Absolutely not. But we will just have to wait and see.
Whoever you are, I just want to go home.
Home? Home doesn't exist anymore.
More Shatterverses.
We'll get it back.
How? It's hopeless.
The show's premise revolves around the existence of many Shatterverses that Sonic has to make his way through to get home. So it makes a lot of sense that more of these Shatterverses will pop up through the second season. We absolutely love this idea and hope the show explores the concept a bit more. It will be a wasted opportunity if the second season does not go this way.
Yes, we did it! Rebel? Nuts? You good?
We're good. Not sure what happened to your friend, though.
The Super Sonic.
Okay, Sonic, think. It's not like answers are just gonna fall from the sky.
There was something interesting going on in the background of the first season, and it is something that only longtime fans of the video game would pick up on. As Sonic travels through the Shatterverse into the different worlds, his gloves and boots kind of evolve as he goes. We see that this process is helping him to harness his kinetic energy, but it also hints at something bigger. With all that power, it is possible that in the second season we will get to see the Super Sonic. In this enhanced form, Sonic would get a golden spiked up hair and red eyes. The blue blur can only unlock the signature super state once he has harnessed the power of the 7 Chaos Emeralds. We have seen the Super Sonic in different forms of media, including the games, since its first appearance in the second Sonic movie. It makes sense that the Super Sonic would be included in Sonic Prime. Sonic becoming the gold hero would definitely position him as not just a revolutionary leader, but also the beacon of hope that the Shatterverse needs. That is, if he can finally learn the value of teamwork and family.
Hey, I found one. I guess it's our lucky day.
Which of these theories is your favorite? Let us know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, do like and share it. Subscribe to the channel as well and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos like this one.
Sonic is the captain? I wish I were programmed to laugh.